Hey guys, Hello Bella here, and I'm a mess. My room is a mess, my hair is a mess, but we're going to go over my 2024 earnings from my Amazon t-shirt business. So if you're not aware, I have a passive income business where I can't even put my phone on silent. I have a passive income business that I upload designs to Amazon for t-shirts and they pay me a royalty. This is very much something that I don't put a ton of time into. My profit for 2024 was a little over $10,000, and we're going to get into the numbers. I'll tell you what worked for me this year and what hasn't worked, some of the trends that I saw over the year, and just kind of give you my overall opinion on the Amazon merch program. Is it still viable? That's debatable. A lot of people feel like the amount of effort you put into it doesn't match the earnings anymore, and I would agree with that. In the beginning, of course, it was a lot easier, but people have also said that about lots of other online businesses. Of course, as more people come into the program, there's going to be more competition, which forces you to either get better or get pushed out, which is unfortunately kind of how capitalism works. But let's go ahead and take a look at the sales here. First, take a look at the United States sales because that's going to be the majority of my income. So we had a total of 3,521 sales, 282 returns, and royalties, which is the amount that I get to keep, was $10,858. If you just want to look at revenue, which is how much the customer spent basically, then you've got $66,000. Geez, that's crazy. Worth of t-shirts that my business sold on Amazon. So royalties per sale was $3.08. So that means that basically every time I make a sale, I make $3.08. And you know, that's not bad. That's a nice little income stream that rolls in. Average royalty per day was down quite a bit from other years, $29.67. Average royalty per month, $904. So personally for me, I've always said that I'm just thankful for this money to be coming in, and I still feel that way. I do feel like an extra $900 a month is a significant amount that helps our family, helps me pay bills, and honestly, it's just nice to have that extra money. So let me take you through the months up here and we'll kind of see some of the trends that we noticed. Obviously, Q4 is typically always going to be your highest earning months, but the climb here looks a lot less dramatic. I feel like sales stayed more consistent this year. October, we've got $1,100 in royalties, and then jumping to November, we've got $1,448. And then it actually went down in December, which is quite odd, but it went to $1,261. You'd usually see it go up in December just a little bit. So this is kind of the overall highest earning months for me. It looks like September wasn't bad either with $1,150, and I will credit a lot of that to election related sales. If you did not capitalize on the election and politics in general, I feel like you definitely would miss a lot of sales. There are things that you can use to look up trends, but for me personally, I just pay attention to what's going on around me. I'll look at like TikTok and Etsy and see what's going on over there. You can look at different tools, like if you want to use like Merch Informer or something like that. I'll have a link to that in the description. But personally, I feel like just keeping your nose to the grindstone and paying attention about what's going on in the world makes you the first to put the shirt up. So usually it's kind of one of those first to market advantages types of things. The worst month, I guess we'll say, was pretty good tie between January and February. We got $544 and $539. So not bad there. One thing I'll say is that I am on the 20,000 tier, and I've not had a tier up in a very long time. I'm not sure what they're doing with tier ups anymore. If anyone has even had a tier up, please let me know in the comments below, because I have not heard anyone getting tiered up in a very long time. I'm not sure if that still applies to the people who are in the lower like 25 or 100 tiers, but for me personally, I haven't tiered up in a while. I know that the tumblers coming out is maybe gonna kind of shift some things, and I really hope that the fact that the tumblers come out means that more products are coming out. Just considering how Jeff Bezos is trying to take over the world, I don't see why we can't get some more freaking products for us to sell. I would love to sell like mugs, and I would really want to sell baby onesies. I don't know why. Maybe there's just like an intrinsic need for me to make baby clothes, but I really feel like that would do well, and they would ship well too because they're small, and I think the printing on them would do pretty well. But that's just something that I've always wanted Amazon merch to do. Here in a little bit, I'll talk to you about the sales on the other marketplaces. A lot of these were auto uploaded. So if you don't know, Amazon will often auto upload designs to other countries for you. And so I noticed that a lot of sales came from that because I don't generally put a lot of focus into uploading for other countries. You can use some different plugins that will do it automatically for you. I'm going to be honest, if I was a doctor, I would be really not up to date in my field because I don't know what's going on. I just learned how to get my Tumblr stuff correct, and I got like a little plugin extension from a person on Instagram. The Instagram was called The Creative Income Life. Just a person who was doing a template. So there's also a Chrome extension called Snap for Merch on Demand, and this will allow you to do some reformatting really quickly when you are doing your listings. Personally, I found it helpful for the tumblers because there's an option for you to click both sides and you can decrease the size of it. So you can say knock it down by 70%. You can move it up and down so you can check everything. And I'm also using Productor for Merch by Amazon. I believe that's what it's called. So just using a couple different tools when I do my uploads. You can see now we've got it on both sides, so you don't have to format it yourself. It does it for you. If you want to format it yourself, that person's Instagram that I showed you would probably work for that. So that is something that you want to keep in mind, is just make sure that your formatting works for the tumblers. In terms of how many designs I have uploaded, I've got 8,332 unique designs, so 41% capacity now. My standard t-shirt still remains the best seller, followed by the tank top and the v-necks. Sweatshirts, sold a couple of them, but the trends are pretty similar to what I normally see. I have not even sold a tumbler yet, but I've uploaded about 50 or 60 of them. My top color is black and followed by cranberry. I have a niche where I sell a lot of the red cranberry color shirts, so that's something that I've just been using to my advantage. It shows up really well in the search results, so you got to think about that kind of stuff. I think that my business continued to follow the 80-20 rule. You'll see here that one of my shirts made $1,784, so that made up a large portion of that $10,000 profit. And then we followed it with a $308 shirt, and then $185, $146, and $143. And a lot of those shirts were in the same niche. And I think that in terms of just being able to kind of find my niches, I've stayed with what makes sense for me. I've also gone into some political niches, but I think I might have spent a little bit too much time into it because in terms of the payoff, I'm not sure it was there. I think I should have focused a little bit more on evergreens because it seems like evergreens continue to remain my bread and butter, and they make up the biggest portion of my income, especially looking back on things that I designed 4 or 5 years ago, continuing to make me money today in 2025. I have to say that if I could tell you anything about Amazon Merch on Demand, it would be to focus on long tail items, things that are going to remain popular over time. The cool thing about doing things that don't have anything to do with specific years or specific events is that they can remain popular. That design right there, it's just something that I sell pretty much every summer, and it is kind of more of a seasonal thing, but it's still like it comes around every year. It's not something that's going away anytime soon. So that's advice I would give you. I'm still using Canva to do all of my designs. I use Canva's AI feature quite often as well to make different pictures, but most of these designs are text-based designs. A lot of them don't have any pictures at all, and those continue to be some of my best sellers. So I don't think that you have to be a top-tier artist to sell on Amazon. You really just need to be a good researcher, because most of this business is figuring out what people are looking for and trying to get that up on the market before the other sellers do that. So if you can master that process, then you can make money with this business. So this is the international sales. We had 200 sales. These are all mostly auto uploaded, so Amazon did the work for me. Not so much money that I go crazy over, but it is nice to have a little bit of extra income coming in. I'm not going to say no to extra money. You can see that the majority was in the UK, and I'm assuming that's because obviously they also speak English. So that is something that, you just want to keep in mind, that if you are designing things for other countries, that you need to be able to translate or have an auto translator feature. It looks like my top design here was in Japan. So I don't even know how to convert that, but yeah, you can take a look at that if you're interested in seeing those numbers. But let's flip over here and take a look at my current stats. So we're in 2025.
So far, February and January are doing okay. January was $509, and halfway through February, we're at $286. So I could pretty much say that we're going to make about $500 again in February. Total sales ever is $130,000. That's how much money I've made from Amazon merch, and it has helped me pay off my house. It's helped me pay my bills, and it's really just been a great business for me.
So what it might do is lead you to different businesses that are adjacent to Amazon merch, such as like selling print on demand on different platforms or doing it on Etsy. So you just kind of have to look at it in terms of like, where will this business lead me? One of my businesses generally always leads to another business, and I have, good success with kind of continuing to pivot. And that's why I don't ever try to put too many eggs in one basket. You drop the basket, you break all the eggs. So you want to diversify where you get your money from. That's just, common sense. Hopefully the video was helpful to you guys. If you're just starting out and you have questions, I'll try to answer them the best I can. You have to realize that I started this program in like 2017. So a lot of this has just been the value over time of putting your time into something. And so if you're feeling like, oh, I don't have that kind of success, I would like to ask you, have you been working on it for like 6 or 7 years? If not, then, you probably won't have that level of success. So with that being said, I hope that you guys have a great rest of the week, and I will catch you in the next video. There's a ton of merch videos on my channel from the past that have a lot of great tips about how I do research and things that I use to design. So if you're interested in that, you can just check out that playlist.